Hi everybody, today we're looking at a deck that of course uses Arcane Bombardment, but the first question I have for you is, who did this? Which one of you did this? Because just look at this monstrosity. I want to know who did this, because I love you for it. It's great. We've got 2 Arcane Bombardments, of course, a number of Grixis-y mid-range cards. We've got Junji, a couple of Sol'kanar, a few copies of Ertai, and of course Sheoldred, everyone's favorite, followed by some drag to the bottom. Oh, and what's this over here? 3 Vesuvan Duplimancy. I don't know what mad genius came up with this, but I think it was MTG Goldfish folks were playing it on stream one night and got my attention right away. So we've got 3 Duplimancy and 2 Bombardment. And the idea is we lay down our legendary mid-rangey threats and we copy them with some of our low-cost instants and sorceries over here. Duplimancy copies them, so we get the additional effect, and then Arcane Bombardment helps us out by letting us kind of reuse those spells. One problem I've run into with Vesuvan Duplimancy in the past is that once you get your stuff down, and then you play a spell on it, you kind of run out of gas unless your deck is specifically built to take advantage of it. And so this deck does a pretty good job of doing that here. It's still a little wonky. I mean, we've only got 2 Bombardments and 3 Duplimancies in the whole deck, but when it gets going, it's a good time. So we've got Slip Out the Back, Fading Hope, and Geistwave as things to target our own creatures with, and then Impulse to find the various combo pieces, plus Make Disappear to just stay alive. 2 Drag to the bottom was actually much better than I thought it would be, ends up most of the time being a -4/-4 effect, which is good at keeping us alive as well. We've got 3 Maestros Charm, good for life gain and tucking under a bombardment, and also helping to find our combo pieces. As I mentioned, only 3 Duplimancy and 2 Arcane Bombardment. Now, you've seen all these legendaries, and we kind of know what copying an Ertai could do, just a free counterspell or free destruction of a creature. Extra copies of Sheoldred is never bad. Sol'kanar has some interesting abilities on his meaty body, and a few extra copies of Junji is great for just reanimating nice things out of our opponent's deck. But the real meat of this deck is actually 4 Aether Channeler. It's a really flexible card that gives us a lot of different options, but you can do some crazy shenanigans with it, especially when you have multiple copies of Duplimancy out on the board. So the idea with this is we can even target our Aether Channeler with something like Maestros Charm and attempt to kill it. And before we do, Duplimancy creates a few copies of Aether Channeler, and then we can often return the original to our hand with one of those created tokens, and then play the Channeler the next turn and draw into more cards and just kind of start the fireworks that way. So these legendaries are great, but they often have big targets on their backs. And so what often gets the work done is Aether Channeler right here. All right, well, let's get to some of these games on the ranked standard ladder. I'm here with some commentary on this kind of wild deck, but as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. All right, trying out this Vesuvan Duplimancy Arcane Bombardment combo. Let's go. Get this Xander's Lounge going, turn 1. Untapped land would be nice for our Impulse here, but we will take what we can get. All right. Opponent looks to be on some kind of white-black Ratadrabic kind of thing. An early Elos from them. We'll just put down this Coast. Keep on working up towards Duplimancy and Bombardment. We've already got the Bombardment. We just need to find a Duplimancy. And then we can go to town with some of our mid-rangey creatures. All right. Well, just a land in there. Don't really need to Fading Hope anything quite yet. Really just looking for a Duplimancy, so we'll just lay some more lands. Could Impulse again, but we also got this Make Disappear for any bigger legendaries that might be coming down soon. Surprisingly, just Elos. Could be a handful of removal over there. Well, Sheoldred's going to be great if we can start copying it. Sheoldred's great either way. I mean, let's be honest. All right. We got Sheoldred. We can protect it with the Slip Out the Back we just drew. Opponent looking at it. Fateful Absence. Probably been hanging on to that for a while. So Sheoldred will live to see another day. I see. Edgar plus Elos. I would expect we'll get some wedding announcements eventually from the opponent. But still just these two threats. Sheoldred going to gain us a little bit of life. Still no Duplimancy from us. I was kind of hoping we could get rid of this Edgar, so I'm going to counter this. And by get rid of it, I mean flip it. I know what it does. Sheoldred's going to gain us a bit of life. We can slow it down a little bit by turning him into creature production mode. And then let's get this Aether Channeler down, so we've got it available. We draw and gain a little bit of life, but still no Duplimancy. Well, we're set up pretty well. So we've got a Geistwave in hand. If we draw into Duplimancy, we can immediately use it to copy a Sheoldred or a Channeler. Okay, Archangel. Takes out the Channeler. Does 2 to our face. Gets in a little bit with Elos over there. Okay, we draw land. Still in it. Let's get Bombardment going. And that will at least let us get some value back when we probably eventually need to Geistwave, maybe a token, or maybe this Angel out of the air just to survive. But Sheoldred doing a great job just brickwalling the ground game here. Opponent gets in with the Angel for 3, gets a little bit of life. There's Ratadrabic finally. All right, Elos really going to town there. Well, this looks like a good situation for drag to the bottom. Ah, yes. There we go. All right, so we pull up Impulse, get Duplimancy. We've still got Sheoldred around. We get a ton of triggers from the Blood Token Maker and Ratadrabic plus Elos. We'll do a few things. Luckily, Elos the only legendary on their side, so that's the only thing they'll get back. Edgar now returns to the party, but we've got a drag to the bottom down in the graveyard now. We can start recycling with Bombardment, potentially. Destroy Evil. Well, might as well save Sheoldred. It's the only thing we can target right now. We really kind of need it to stick around, and all right. We get dragged to the bottom again. Impulse can grab us. Probably. We're saving our Sheoldred, so we just need something to target it with, which we don't have. So we're taking Geistwave. And we'll draw a card since we're targeting our own thing here. Edgar flips. Elos gets some triggers, but is finally gone for good. All right, we just pick up a land. All right, not the worst. We can still do a little combo here. All right, land. Think about how we're going to do this. We definitely need Sheoldred. We need Sheoldred to survive. So I think next turn, we can lay Duplimancy and then get things going. Thinking about attacking with Edgar, changes their mind. Okay. Just want a little counter backup for when we get this going. So Duplimancy comes down. Excellent. And since our only targeting thing is a return to the hand spell, I want to at least get some use out of it on their turn. By keeping Sheoldred on the board for now. So we'll block here. All right, so they use the indestructible spell again. Since we're not going to be able to kill that, let's go ahead and activate it. We get a free Sheoldred. And then we activate Bombardment. I mean, we could slip this out the back and then drag to the bottom again. And since we're slipping out the back, we're going to get an extra Sheoldred token here. plus returning Sheoldred to our hand. Okay, good game. All right. Another one here with Grixis, Vesuvan Duplimancy Arcane Bombardment. Starting off a little slow. We've got Make Disappear to kind of make the bridge to turn 3 at least, when we can start doing things with Aether Channeler and the Charm. What we're looking for is Vesuvan Duplimancy and Arcane Bombardment. Now we just need to figure out what kind of mono black deck we're up against here. Alright, Bankbuster from the opponent, so we're just going to Impulse here. I guess just Impulse again, no combo pieces up there. We draw a Junji, which will be great later. And we really got to keep these lands going. Ugh. Alright, well, had to pass that Impulse by. Opponent with a late Phyrexian Sleeper. Pumps it up now. So we'll just go ahead and refund that. Ugh. We're going to need it eventually. And we can do Aether Channeler this turn for another land. Opponent seems to be stuck on land, so I think we're okay for our slow start. Surprised they didn't draw last turn looking for that land. Alright, discards a couple of things. Yep, let's draw with Channeler. I'll play this Takenuma out as land. Alright, well, I mean, if this survives, we can go to town here. Alright, let's definitely counter that. Better than dealing with it on board and paying that ward cost. Alright, well, let's get in, first of all. And I think we'll save this until our opponent's turn. Alright, well, we can get rid of those two. We've already got a Duplimancy and a Channeler. Opponent's not doing too much, so let's just start the shenanigans off right. We'll draw a card with the created copy that we make here. Another Make Disappear is nice, while our opponent's a little bit low on mana. It's just Aether Channeler party right now. Alright, Sheoldred. I do not think so. And we will Geistwave our real copy of Aether Channeler. Get another one. Draw a card. There's another one. Good, good. Okay. Choices. Well, we know we want to get in with these two. Let's do Sheoldred. Between these other two channelers, we're set up to draw a lot of cards. It's not like we can force our opponent to draw, so... Opponent taking their time. Alright, Sheoldred number 2. Look like they're thinking about crewing up there. No, changing your mind. Well, let's Fading Hope our own Sheoldred, so we get a second copy. Alright, so these two triggers cancel each other out. We can bounce their Sheoldred and then just attack for the win. I suppose that was an unnecessary Fading Hope, but, you know, we got a Duplimancy down. We got to use it. Alright, goodbye Sheoldred. That's 8 combat damage. Alright, good game. Alright, one more with this Grixis Arcane Bombardment mixed with Vesuvan Duplimancy. A decent opening hand. We can Impulse into our missing combo pieces a little bit later. Got to Make Disappear to help with the early game. Let's keep that up now. Since we don't have a lot of stuff going on, we can Aether Channeler to draw a card here. Since we are drowning in Aether Channelers. A welcoming vampire from the opponent. We'll just bounce that for now and keep getting in. Another land, a great draw here. Maestros Charm to get rid of this. Prevent them from catching up on the card draw. And we'll get in with these two channelers. Likely Impulse here. Try to get a Duplimancy going. Well, we will just keep this train moving. Get Aether Channeler in a little bit more. We might just Impulse for a land here and try to get Bombardment going. I think if they would have had enchantment-based removal, they would have been using it on one of these Channelers by now. Yeah, let's just guarantee the land. All right, the opponent wraps it up. All right, this looks good. We've got Grixis Duplimancy combo here. One of the combo pieces is Arcane Bombardment to reuse some of our spells. Opponent leads off with a New Capenna fetch land. Bloodtithe Harvester, so this could be kind of a stock Rakdos list, just without the good lands. Sheoldred, a great pickup here as we look to fill our mana curve as we move up towards Duplimancy and Bombardment. It's a nice 4-5-6 progression with Sheoldred into Sol'kanar, into Bombardment. Opponent on Grixis for some reason plays Fable. Could be Reanimator or anything close to that. Alright. Definitely need this Sheoldred down. Yeah, and I've been getting rid of Fable tokens lately. You can sort of tell when the opponent really needs them, and sometimes if this is Reanimator, they do need that token because it bumps them immediately to 5 where all the reanimation spells are. Checking out our graveyard for some reason. Gonna appraise a corpse. No corpse to appraise, sorry. That's a great pickup. Alright, we're up to 5. I think with Ertai, we're just going to pass here. Opponent trying to target Sheoldred. Yeah, we need stuff on the board. And the opponent doesn't have too much mana to follow up with. Let's just counter that. Cuts down in response on Ertai, but that's not how that works. They draw another card. Sheoldred hits him for 2, and Kiki Jiki flips over. And we draw a land. Alright, well, we're sitting over here. Kind of nice behind Sheoldred. We can get Sol'kanar down. I think Sheoldred can just do this work for us from here. And we will go ahead and target this flipped Fable. Prevent the shenanigans from progressing any further. And start thinking about bombardment maybe next turn. It would be nice to keep up Make Disappear a little bit as well. Although, second Corpse Appraiser. If this is the deck I think it is, it's kind of more mid-rangey, and so Make Disappear is going to get less useful now that they're up over 6 mana here. All right, well, beefy legendary's too much. Good game.